Alex began his shift on Orbital Station Dawnrise the same way he always did, walking the long service ring with a mug of reheated coffee in one hand and a small scanner in the other. He liked the quiet hours before the main traffic burst through. The docking arms. The only sounds were the light whir of air circulators and the soft hum of distant reactors. For Alex, these steady hums were a gentle song that told him everything on the station was healthy, alive, and under control. He was a maintenance technician, young but known for quick hands and sharper ideas. People joked that he could repair a snapped cable with a gum wrapper and a prayer. His dark hair always fell over one eye, and he kept brushing it back as he moved from panel to panel, checking pressure seals and data feeds. It looked like a normal day until the song of the station shattered into a scream. The floor trembled. A heavy crash echoed through the metal bones of Dawnrise. Alex's coffee leapt from the mug, splashing across the deck plates. Red lights flared in the ceiling strips, and a sharp klaxon cut the air. "Hull breach docking bay 3, training took over. Alex dropped the scanner, grabbed his toolkit, and broke into a run. He dodged startled crewmates pouring out. Of side corridors, their voices tight with shock, but he did not slow down. Docking bay 3 lay on the far side of the ring. Alex's boots pounded against the deck as he dashed past white pressure doors that hissed shut behind him. He called ahead on his comm, telling Central Control what gear he needed ready: portable patch sheets, a field welder, and emergency atmosphere canisters. His heart hammered, yet his thoughts stayed clear. A breach meant 2 dangers: vacuum stealing air and debris cutting deeper wounds into the hull. Seconds counted. He rounded the final corner and froze for half a breath. A cargo shuttle had slammed nose first into the open collar of the bay. Its hull was crumpled like foil, and vapor hissed from multiple rents. Sparks danced in the smoky air. One large piece of shrapnel had torn through the station wall beside the service door, leaving a jagged hole big enough to pass a fist. Thin wisps of atmosphere streamed out into space beyond a cracked inner door. Alex glimpsed a figure in a sleek silver suit. The alien researcher Larahi recognized her from earlier welcome notices, stood with one hand braced against the failing lock. Her helmet visor was fogged, hiding her face, but her stance shook with fear. She banged the emergency panel, yet the door refused to seal fully. A ragged gap at the frame hissed like an angry snake, stealing precious air from both sides. Alex snapped back to motion. He slapped a magnetic patch over the fist-sized hole in the bulkhead to slow the leak behind him, then dragged a thick roll of Smart Seal fiber from his kit. "Central, I'm at the scene," he spoke into his comm, voice low and even. "Single. Alien life form trapped, air loss rapid. Initiating manual patch." His fingers flew, cutting a square of fiber, peeling the adhesive cover. He hit the release on a portable air bottle, filling the hallway with a new wind that pushed back the smoke. A notice on his wrist screen flashed. Gravity compromise cycle 5. Dawnrise used a mixed gravity system that pulsed in small sections when emergency power shifted. In 5 seconds, the deck beneath him might float. Alex braced his boots in the deck slots and timed his move. The moment gravity flickered low, he almost glided forward, pressing the fiber sheet across the gap in the cracked door while it weighed. Nearly nothing. He smoothed the edges with quick strokes, then pulled his portable welder and stitched a bright seam around the patch before gravity returned. Metal groaned but held. Inside the bay, an alarm light flashed over Lyra's head, painting the smoke red. Through the comm, her voice came in short gasps. "My suit." "Punctured life support down to 4%. Her words shook, but she tried to stay calm. "Please hurry," Alex swallowed. The door seal had stopped the worst of the air loss. But now he saw a bright green fluid leaking from a small hole in Lara's upper arm or the coolant veins of her biosuit. If those veins dried, her suit's internal temperature would spike and the air mix would fail. She might last 3 more minutes. He keyed a command into the door panel. The battered lock tried to cycle open, failed twice, then clanked aside. With a jolt, a fresh gust of thin air swept past Alex's cheeks. He stepped through, eyes stinging, and waved the med scanner over Lyra's arm. The display glowed orange critical. "Hold still," he said, keeping his tone steady and plain. He peeled another strip of Smart Seal and pressed it firmly over the breach in her suit. He added a clear gel that hardened on contact, locking the patch in place. The scanner shifted from orange to yellow better, but still not safe. Alex guided Lyra toward the exit. Med Bay is 50 meters, he assured her. Your air is low but stable. We'll get you fresh tanks there. Lyra gave a small nod, the fog on her visor clearing enough to reveal pale silver eyes wide with relief. They walked into the corridor as system lights flickered overhead. Behind them, the wounded shuttle hissed and popped, metal cooling in uneven beats. Alex glanced at the patch he'd welded. It held firm, but stress lines crawled through the frame like tiny cracks on ice. He knew the seal might fail if the bay's pressure spiked again. They had to move fast. He kept one hand on Lyra's shoulder to steady her while his other hand tapped a message to Central. Breach contained for now. Alien researcher secure. Requesting med team at Corridor 7, the reply came quick. En route? Lyra's suit monitors beeped a warning. Power cells at 3%. She swayed and Alex tightened his grip. The smell of burnt wiring drifted from the bay, mixing with the sterilized tang of recycled air in the corridor. Alex felt sweat on his brow, yet a cool calm settled inside him. He had saved lives before, but never at the edge of vacuum. This was different, harder, faster, somehow more meaningful. They reached the junction, and he could already see the med team running toward them, white packs slung across their backs. But even as help approached, Alex noticed a fresh drip. Green fluid sliding down Lyra's patched arm. The seal was slipping. He met her gaze through the visor. We're not done yet, he said, voice low, firm and kind. He turned his eyes to the medics and raised a hand for speed. The medics moved quickly, their boots making soft thuds on the smooth floor. They surrounded Lyra, carefully lifting her to a medical bed that glided silently on small wheels. Alex stayed close, watching every move. His hands still shook a little from the rush, but his mind focused on what came next. Lyra's silver eyes flicked toward him, full of quiet trust. Thank you, she said softly, her voice calm despite the danger. The light inside her helmet blinked low. Her suit was failing fast. Alex knew that if the damage wasn't fixed soon, she could lose consciousness. The medics started connecting tubes and sensors to her suit. One pressed a panel on her arm and a small screen lit up with readouts of her vital signs. Coolant levels dropping, the medic said. We need to repair the suit's life support system, or she won't last long. Alex nodded. I can help, he offered, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders again. The medics looked at each other and then back at him. One gave a small nod. They wheeled the bed into a side room filled with tools and machines for emergency repairs. The room smelled faintly of clean metal and antiseptic. Alex knelt by Lyra's side, studying the damaged suit carefully. The silver armor panels were cracked, and the small tubes carrying coolant were leaking in several places. He pulled out his toolkit and began working. He carefully opened a panel on the suit's forearm, revealing a complex mesh of tiny tubes and wires. Beneath, his fingers moved gently but quickly, threading new tubes and replacing broken parts with precision. Lyra's breathing slowed as the suit began to stabilize. Minutes passed, each one feeling longer than the last. Alex wiped sweat from his brow and glanced at the monitors. The coolant levels began to rise again, and the suit's temperature returned to normal. Lyra's color improved and her eyes lost some of their weariness. Then suddenly a soft alarm beeped from the suit's chest panel. Alex looked closer. There's a secondary breach here, he said, pointing to a thin crack running along the side of the torso. I'll need to seal it with a stronger material. He reached for a roll of Smart Seal fiber, the same high-tech material he had used earlier on the hull breach. The fiber could bond to almost anything and heal small tears instantly. He carefully cut a patch and applied it over the crack, smoothing it down until it disappeared into the suit's surface. Lyra shifted slightly. You are skilled, she said, her voice clearer now. Your people's technology is impressive, Alex smiled faintly. Thanks. We try to keep up. He felt a strange warmth hearing her praise. It was rare for aliens to compliment humans so directly, especially after a near-death experience. He finished his work and closed the suit's panel. The alarm stopped and the monitors showed stable life support. The danger was over for now. Lyra looked down at her suit, then back at Alex. Your help saved my life. How can I thank you properly? Alex shrugged, feeling shy under her gaze. Just seeing you safe is thanks enough. She smiled, a gentle curve of her lips. Then, to his surprise, she stood and began to remove her damaged armor pieces carefully. Piece by piece, the silver plates came off, folding neatly on a nearby table. Alex blinked. He wasn't used to seeing anyone do this, especially not an alien he barely knew. But Lyra's movements were calm, purposeful. She wasn't undressing out of weakness or desperation. Instead, it felt like a quiet, respectful ritual. When the last piece fell away, she was left wearing a thin underlayer of shimmering fabric. It covered her modestly but revealed the soft lines of her skin beneath a pale blue-purple hue that shimmered faintly under the bright lights. Alex looked away, respecting her privacy even though his heart pounded with curiosity. He remembered the stories he had heard from other crew members, how some alien cultures had special ways of showing trust and gratitude. Maybe this was one of those Lyra single quotes SIs found his again. In my culture, to remove one's armor before another is the highest sign of thanks and trust. It shows you are safe with that person. Alex nodded slowly, understanding the meaning. I'm honored, he said simply. She smiled softly. Come, let me take you somewhere. Before Alex could ask, Lyra led him down a narrow hallway toward the station's botanical gardens. The gardens were a peaceful place filled with green plants and flowers from many worlds. A small slice of life and beauty inside the metal walls of the station. Lyra stopped in front of a tall glass case. Inside was a strange plant glowing softly, with a blue light. Its long leaves curled gently like hands reaching out. This is the seed core from my homeworld, she explained. It is a living crystal that holds great energy and life. It only bonds with those who show courage and kindness. Alex stared at the seed core, feeling its quiet power. It's amazing, he said. Lyra smiled again and carefully lifted the case's lid. She reached inside and took the seed core in her hands. Then, with a gentle motion, she pressed it lightly against Alex's chest. A warm glow spread through him, gentle and steady. He felt a deep connection to the alien plant, as if it recognized something in him. This is my gift to you, Lyra said, for saving my life and for your bravery. Alex felt humbled. Thank you. I don't know what to say. Say you will keep it safe, she replied. I will. They stood quietly for a moment, the soft light from the seed core filling the room. Alex realized that this was more than just a repair job or a simple rescue. It was the start of something new, a bond between two very different people, joined by respect and courage. Suddenly, the station shook again, a distant rumble running through the walls. Alex looked at Lyra, alert. Trouble? He asked after the calm in the botanical garden. Alex and Lyra returned to the main part of Orbital Station Dawnrise. The soft light from the seed core still glowed faintly beneath Alex's shirt, a reminder of the trust Lyra had placed in him. It was more than a gift. It was a symbol of their new connection. Lyra walked beside Alex, her pace steady but cautious. The seed core's energy can protect the station, she said quietly. But it also attracts attention, some good, some dangerous. Alex nodded, his thoughts turning to the earlier warning. What kind of danger? She stopped and looked around the busy corridor. Crew members passed by, some glancing at the alien woman with curiosity or suspicion. Smugglers, Lyra said. They have learned about the seed core's value. They want to take it for their own. Alex frowned. Smugglers here, on this station? Yes, she replied. They hide in the shadows. They wait for the right moment. Before Alex could reply, the station lights flickered once, then again. The soft hum of the station's power shifted unevenly. A voice came over the intercom, calm but tense. Attention all personnel. Power fluctuations detected. In Sector 4, maintenance teams report possible sabotage. Alex's heart quickened. Sabotage was serious. It meant someone wanted to damage the station, and probably steal something. We need to find the source, Alex said, his voice steady despite the sudden danger. Lyra agreed. The smugglers are clever. They will not be easy to catch. They moved quickly through the corridors, heading toward Sector 4. The area was quieter than usual. The usual workers replaced by tense security officers scanning every shadow. The air smelled faintly of burnt wiring and oil. Alex checked his wrist. Screen. The power grid showed a sharp drop in one substation. This is bad. If the power fails completely, the station's life support could be at risk. Lyra's eyes narrowed. We must stop it. They split up. Alex headed toward the substation control room, while Lyra took the hallways leading to the cargo bays. Both knew the station's layout well, but trusted each other to cover more ground. Alex reached the control room and pushed through the heavy door. The room was small but filled with blinking panels and control sticks. He immediately saw the damage. Some circuits were scorched, wires cut cleanly. Whoever did this had planned carefully. He pulled out his toolkit and began repairs. His fingers worked fast, reconnecting broken cables and rerouting power through backup systems. The panels flickered as power returned. Suddenly the door hissed open behind him. Alex turned sharply, tool in hand. A figure slipped inside, a tall man wearing dark clothes and a low hood that hid most of his face. The man held a small device that looked like a remote. Not so fast, the man said with a cold smile. You're in my way. Alex stepped back but stayed calm. Who are you? What do you want? The man's smile grew. I want the seed core. And I want this station to fall apart if I don't get it. Alex's mind raced. He knew this was no ordinary thief. This was the leader of the smuggler ring Lyra warned about. The man pressed a button on the remote. Alarms blared as power surged wildly, lights flashing red. The room started shaking slightly. Alex ducked behind a control panel as sparks flew from exposed wires. He grabbed a heavy metal rod from the floor and prepared to defend himself. The smuggler laughed. You're brave, human. The bravery won't save you here. Alex's eyes darted around, searching for a way out or a tool to use. The room's power was unstable, but a small emergency panel on the wall caught his attention. With quick moves, Alex crawled toward the panel and punched the emergency override. The power surge slowed, lights returned to steady yellow, and the alarms quieted. The smuggler cursed, stepping back. You're lucky this time. Alex stood tall. It's not luck, it's skill and heart. The smuggler hissed and slipped out the door. Disappearing into the corridors, Alex took a deep breath, then sent a quick message to Lyra. Intruder in control room. Sabotage attempt. Moments later, Lyra responded, I'm near cargo bay 6. Smugglers moving fast. Alex moved to meet her, racing through the station. At the cargo bay, Lyra waited, her stance ready and eyes sharp. Behind her, shadows shifted as several smugglers emerged, their weapons drawn but their faces tight with caution. Lyra raised a hand, speaking softly in her language. Suddenly, a wave of calm seemed to pass over the group. Some smugglers lowered their weapons, confused. Alex arrived just in time to see this. What did you do? He asked. It's an ancient technique from my planet, Lyra explained. It can slow anger and fear, but only for a short time. Using the moment, Alex moved forward, holding out the glowing seed core. The light pulsed gently, filling the space with soft blue warmth. Leave the station, Lyra said firmly, or face the consequences. The smugglers hesitated, then turned and fled into the maze of corridors. Lyra exhaled, relief flooding her features. They will come back, but for now, the threat has passed. Alex looked at the seed core in his hand, its glow steady and calm. We need to protect this. Not just for you, but for everyone here, Lyra nodded. Agreed. And for that, we will need help from the whole station. As they made their way back toward the center of Dawnrise, Alex felt a new strength inside him. The seed core was more than a gift. It was a symbol of a growing bond between humans and aliens, a bond that might just change the future. The news of the sabotage attempt and the seed core's importance spread quickly through orbital station Dawnrise. The station's commander called an emergency meeting. Crew members, security officers, engineers, and even some alien representatives gathered in the main conference hall. The room buzzed with tension and curiosity. Alex sat quietly beside Lyra, feeling the weight of what had happened. He still had the glowing seed core safe in a secure container, but he knew it was more than a simple object now. It was a symbol of hope and a target. The station commander, a tall woman with sharp eyes, stood at the front. "This attack shows that we face real danger," she said firmly. "We must protect the seed core and everyone on this station. No one is above the rules. We will work together." Some voices in the room muttered about humans being too reckless or aliens being too mysterious, but Alex saw Lyra stand up calmly. Her presence commanded respect. She spoke in perfect basic, the universal language of the galaxy. "This seed core is a living crystal from my home planet. It holds energy that can help all of us. But it is fragile and must be protected." She looked directly at Alex. "He saved my life and the seed core's life. We are partners now. Together, we can stop those who want to harm this station." Alex felt a surge of pride but stayed humble. He knew this was bigger than him. After the meeting, Alex and Lyra walked through the station's corridors. Crew members stopped them to offer thanks or ask questions. Alex noticed many eyes filled with new respect for humans. In one small lounge, Alex caught a glimpse of a large alien woman watching them. She had dark, smooth skin and eyes like molten gold. Her uniform bore the insignia of the Galactic Council, the highest authority in the galaxy. Alex's heart skipped. The Council rarely visited smaller stations unless something important was happening. The alien woman approached with a gentle smile. "I am Commander Vela of the Galactic Council," she said, voice deep and clear. "I have come to learn more about the events here and to ensure peace." Lyra stepped forward, bowing her head slightly. "Welcome, Commander Vela. This is Alex, the human who saved my life." Vela nodded, then looked at Alex thoughtfully. "Your bravery is known beyond this station. The Council values such courage." Alex felt both nervous and proud. "Thank you, Commander." Vela's gaze shifted to the seed core case. "That crystal is rare and powerful. Its safety must be a priority," Lyra smiled. "We agree. That is why we ask for the Council's support." Vela considered for a moment. "Very well. I will send a security team to assist, and I will recommend that the Council establish a joint program between humans and your people. This may be the start of a stronger alliance." Alex exchanged a look with Lyra. This was more than he had hoped for. Over the next days the station changed. New security teams arrived, armed but respectful. The corridors saw more patrols, but also more cooperation. Humans and aliens worked side by side, sharing knowledge and tools. Alex found himself invited to a meeting of engineers. They discussed ways to strengthen the station's defenses using both human ingenuity and alien technology. Ideas flowed freely, and Alex's quick thinking earned him praise. One evening, as the station's artificial sun dimmed for the rest cycle, Lyra invited Alex to a quiet room near the gardens. The soft light made her pale blue-purple skin glow gently. "I want to thank you again," she said, voice soft but firm. "You risked much for me," Alex smiled, feeling a warmth inside. "I only did what anyone would do." Lyra shook her head. "No, humans are special. You are brave and kind, and you do not give up." She stepped closer and held out a small device. "This is a communication beacon. It will let you contact me directly, no matter where you are." Alex took it, surprised and grateful. "Thank you, Lyra. I'll keep it safe." They stood in silence for a moment, a new friendship growing in the quiet space, but peace was not yet complete. The smugglers who attacked still lurked in the shadows, waiting for another chance. The seed core's glow pulsed faintly, reminding them both that danger was never far. Alex and Lyra prepared to face whatever came next together. The calm on Orbital Station. Dawnrise did not last long. Just days after the Galactic Council's arrival and the new security team settled in, a sudden power failure shook the entire station. Lights flickered and died in many corridors. Alarms screamed loudly, echoing through metal halls. Alex was in the engineering bay when the blackout hit. The heavy doors slammed shut automatically as backup systems tried to kick in. Emergency lights glowed dim red, casting long shadows. He glanced at his wrist screen. The main power grid was unstable, plunging into dangerous drops and surges. His heart raced. Not again, he muttered. The sabotage had returned. A call came over the station's intercom. Attention all personnel. Critical power failure detected. Emergency protocols activated. Please proceed calmly to your designated safe zones. Alex didn't wait. He grabbed his toolkit and raced toward the reactor control room. He needed to find what was causing the blackout and stop it before the life support failed. The corridors were nearly empty, with only a few security officers patrolling. Their faces were tense, and their weapons were ready. Alex nodded at one as he passed. Power's failing fast. We need all hands. He reached the reactor control room, a large chamber filled with glowing consoles and pipes humming quietly. Beneath thick armor plates, the main reactor, a spinning core of energy, was still active but dangerously unstable. Alex moved to the control panel and scanned the systems. His eyes widened. Someone had tampered with the coolant flow, the very system that kept the reactor's temperature safe. If it stopped, the reactor would overheat and possibly explode. He started repairs immediately, rerouting coolant through backup pipes and closing damaged valves. Sparks flew from a broken circuit board, and a sharp heat prickled his skin. He ignored it, focused on the job. Suddenly the door hissed open and Lyra rushed in. Her face was pale but determined. Alex, the smugglers, they are here. They want the seed core. Alex didn't look away from the panel. I'm trying to keep the reactor stable. Can you hold them off? She nodded. I'll try. Lyra stepped toward the door, activating a small device on her wrist. A soft blue light spread around her like a shield, invisible but strong. It was alien technology designed to slow attackers. Outside, the hum of heavy footsteps grew louder. The smugglers had broken through the outer defenses. Alex's hands moved faster. The coolant pressure was rising. If it hit the limit, the reactor would shut down automatically, but not before releasing dangerous energy bursts. The door opened wider and several smugglers burst in. They wore dark armor and carried energy weapons. Their leader, the man who had tried to sabotage the control room before, raised a rifle. Give us the seed core, or the station burns, he snarled. Lyra stood between Alex and the intruders. The blue shield shimmered, forcing them to hesitate. You will not harm this station, she said. Voice steady, the leader growled and fired a shot, but it hit the shield and fizzled out. The smugglers looked confused, unsure how to fight the invisible barrier. Alex saw his chance. He grabbed a heavy metal rod FR, owned the floor, and charged forward, swinging with all his strength. The rod struck one smuggler's weapon, sending sparks flying. Another tried to tackle him, but Lyra used a quick pulse of energy to knock the attacker back. The fight was fierce, but brief. The smugglers, unused to the shield's power and Alex's boldness, retreated quickly. Slipping through the door before security reinforcements arrived, Alex breathed hard, wiping sweat from his face. The reactor beeped steady now the repairs held. But the danger was far from over. Lyra looked at him with a mixture of gratitude and worry. They will come again, stronger. We need a better plan, Alex nodded. We have to protect the seed core. At all costs. Maybe we can use the reactor's energy to create a defense? Lyra smiled faintly. Your people's ingenuity never ceases to amaze me. Together they began discussing ideas, blending human technology with alien bioenergy. The seed core's gentle glow pulsed in Alex's hand, a reminder of the trust. Between them, outside, the station settled back into quiet hums, but shadows lingered. The smugglers were still out there, waiting. The station's corridors were quiet now, but the tension was thick in the air. Alex and Lyra worked side by side in the reactor control room, planning their next move. The seed core's soft blue light pulsed steadily inside its protective case, a symbol of hope and danger at the same time. Alex looked at the control panels. If we can connect the seed core's energy to the reactor's coolant system, Maybe it can help absorb the extra heat, he said. It's risky, but it might save the station. Lyra nodded thoughtfully. The seed core responds to life and energy. If we can guide it, it will protect both the reactor and the people. They prepared carefully. Alex opened a panel near the coolant pipes, exposing a network of wires and sensors. Lyra touched the seed core with gentle fingers, closing her eyes as she focused her mind. A faint glow spread from the crystal, stronger now as if it felt their intent. Alex connected the seed core to the coolant system's control unit using a special adapter Lyra had brought from her world. The crystal's energy flowed into the pipes like a calm river, pulsing with life. The monitors flickered, then showed a steady temperature. The coolant absorbed the heat faster, spreading it safely through the system. Suddenly, an alert flashed on the screen. Unauthorized access detected Cargo Bay 6. Alex's heart jumped. They're back, the smugglers. Lyra's eyes sharpened. We must act fast. They rushed toward Cargo Bay 6. The halls grew darker as the emergency lights cast long shadows. Around the corner, a group of smugglers waited. Blocking the way, Alex stepped forward, holding the seed core's case tightly. This ends now. Leave the station peacefully. The smuggler leader laughed. You think a glowing rock can stop us? Hand it over or face the consequences. Lyra raised her hand, the blue shield flickering to life once more. The smugglers fired, but their blasts bounced harmlessly off the barrier. Alex moved quickly, throwing a smoke grenade from his belt. The dense cloud filled the space, confusing the attackers. Using the moment, Lyra sent a pulse of energy through the shield. It wrapped around the smugglers like soft chains, stopping them without harm. The leader snarled and struggled, but the energy held firm. Alex approached calmly. You have lost. Leave now, or we will call security. Realizing they were trapped, the smugglers surrendered. Security teams arrived, cuffing them and leading them away. Lyra lowered her shield, breathing heavily but smiling. Your bravery and the seed core's power protected us all. Alex smiled back, feeling stronger than before. We make a good team. As the station settled again, the Galactic Council's Commander Vela arrived with more officers. They reported your victory, she said, nodding at both of them. This station and its people owe you a debt. Lyra stepped forward. We still have much work to do. The smugglers will not stop, Vela agreed. Then we will send more help. And I will recommend that humans and your people build stronger ties. Together, we are stronger. Alex looked at Lyra, the glow of the seed core bright between them. We have started something important. A future where we protect each other, Lyra smiled softly. Yes, a future born from trust and courage. As the stars shone outside the station's windows, Alex and Lyra stood ready for whatever came next. The fight was far from over, but together, they would face it. The Galactic Council held a special ceremony aboard Orbital Station Dawnrise. The large hall was filled with beings from many worlds. Some were tall and slender, others short and strong. The air buzzed with excitement and respect. Alex stood beside Lyra. Both wore their best uniforms. The seed core rested safely in a clear case on a pedestal between them, glowing softly. It was a symbol of the trust and courage that had brought everyone together. Commander Vela stepped forward. Her voice was strong and clear. Today we honor the bravery of two heroes, Alex, a human technician, and Lyra, an alien researcher. Together they saved this station and protected a treasure of great importance. The crowd applauded. Alex felt his cheeks warm but stayed humble. He looked at Lyra, who smiled gently back. Vela continued. Their courage and teamwork show what we can achieve when different peoples work together. This is the beginning of a new alliance between humans and Lyra's people. Lyra stepped forward. I thank the Council and all who helped. The seed core is not just a crystal, it holds the future of peace and cooperation, Alex nodded. We learned that trust can be stronger than any weapon. After the ceremony, many came forward to shake their hands and offer words of respect. Alex and Lyra became symbols of hope across the galaxy. As the crowd slowly left, Vela spoke privately with them. I have arranged for you both to be ambassadors in a new program. You will work to build friendships and share knowledge between our worlds. Alex smiled. It is an honor, Lyra's eyes shone. Together we will make a better future. That night, Alex and Lyra walked to the station's garden. The stars outside were bright, and the plants glowed softly under the artificial sun. They stood quietly, feeling the peace they had fought for. Alex held the seed core case in his hands. Lyra broke the silence. You saved my life and many more. I will never forget your kindness. Alex looked at her. And I will never forget yours. They spoke softly of their homes, their hopes and dreams. They knew challenges would come, but together they were ready. Suddenly, the seed core pulsed with light, brighter than before. It seemed to respond to their bond. Alex laughed softly. I think it likes us, Lyra smiled. It is alive in more ways than one. As the station hummed softly around them, two friends from different worlds stood united. Their story was one of courage, respect, and hope, and it was only the beginning.